What's up, you guys? It's Jason here from RPM, and today we're going to be checking out an awesome new product that's really not even that new. It's been around for quite some time, but since the machine is so new still, it feels like it's new, and that's the Silicone Intake Tubes for the Polaris Pro R. This is specifically for the 4-cylinder model Pro R, and really what it was is the airbox intake from here went to a plastic tube that then went to the airbox. And the only way that they could clear the bed and the shock was by bottlenecking that intake tube drastically. So let's come over here and take a look at what we're talking about. And just to give you an idea, this is where it was clearing the shock. This is the OEM tube. This is the RPM tube. That just goes to show you just how much room we made, really, in about this section from, I would say, from here to here is where all the restrictions were. We didn't just make it larger, we had to make it taller to get the volume we needed to feed all the air to the motor. This is the area where we're clearing the shock still. So we shrunk it up, made it just big enough to clear the shock, and then we corrected some of these turns right in here. At the factory hand, they were sharp, blunt turns all over, and we smoothed all that out. And like we said, we just made everything bigger. Like I said, this is the factory tube right there where it clears the shock. I mean, it's just massive. Massive gains. So that is the tube that goes from the bed intake to the air box, and then from there we upgraded the tube that goes from the air box to the throttle body. That's this tube. The factory one is a thin, flimsy piece of rubber, and you can see how thin it is right there. We obviously upgraded it with ours. We oversized it, corrected some of the indentations right here, smoothed this one out a little bit, made it thicker. It can't collapse on itself. It's too thick to do anything crazy. Slightly oversized as much as we can make it. We're working with tight spaces, but regardless, you're going to be flowing a ton more air with these. This is your vacuum port for the crankcase ventilation. If you're running one of the RPM catch cans, you'll actually just be recapping this. Takes the OEM tube, no problem. Super clean, super easy. With all of these tubes, you're going to get stainless T-Bolt clamps, and we use stainless hardware on our crankcase ventilation port. You're also going to get stainless hardware on your bed to airbox silicone as well. And then we thickened up the silicone. That makes it super rigid, super stiff. It won't be collapsing on itself, but yet it's still flexible. It can move with the machine. We have these in orange, red, black, and blue. Over time, Polaris will introduce new model colors, and at that time we would do new colors right there as well. But until then, we probably aren't going to be doing any colors except for what we have right here for the 2022 models. All right, so moving inside the machine, we'll take a look at what we're working with. Just to go back over, maybe backstep a few, these silicone tubes are extremely, extremely easy to install. Like in your garage with a flathead and a 10mm socket, easy install. Everything's extremely accessible on the Pro R. We just one panel out. And the only reason we took this cover off is so we could show you the pre-filter. A lot of guys who buy these silicone tubes are going to come in and buy the air filter pre-filter. And what that does is it prevents sand and mud buildup, mostly just sand. And it repels water too. So if you, for whatever reason, you hit a large puddle, you submerge it, it will try to at least beat off the water before it takes into the filter. Sand and dirt, though, it will just repel off. It's not going to filtrate, all the dirt and sand, but any large particles are going to get stopped by the pre-filter. So it drastically extends the life of the air filter. Easy, cheap modification that you can pick up at rpmsxs.com. But moving on, this side is the bed to airbox silicone tube, and pretty much what this is doing is it is the actual intake for the airbox. So this is your intake side. Pre-filter, post-filter is going to be the smaller tube, and that's this guy. 2 clamps. You can see ours is capped. We have a catch can on this vehicle. We'll maybe show you that real quick before we get out of here, but that's kind of just a rundown of our silicone. We're glad you guys are liking what we're making and taking notes of what we're making, and we're glad that we can be doing it for you. If you have any advice on what we should be doing next, definitely drop it in the comment section. The catch cans, we'll show you them real quick. Our catch can mounts so clean. It's the same thing, super easy install. We've got it tucked up on the frame, tucked here in the plastics. We just really drop the valve and remove whatever we want out of there. And of course, we got a full lineup of Pro R parts. We have front suspension tuning forks and cups. We've got head pipes, mufflers. We got a race muffler on this one right now. I know that our exhausts have been a crazy big hit, especially because of this tip. We kept the triangulated tip that fits the rear fascia. We just oversized it, so it's 3 inches. All of our exhausts are 3-inch exhausts. And of course, the oversized RPM head pipe. Going back to the other side, we have the RPM clutch fans. We've got race mufflers, sport mufflers, chambered mufflers. Yeah, so we've really been digging this platform. We've been digging it so much that we're actually going to run this car our next Baja trip. So we're going to retire the old X3 for a trip and take the old Pro R 4-seater down there and see what it's all about. And yeah, check it out, guys. It's rpmsxs.com. Pick these up from us or any of our dealers and distributors.